All right, my friends, here we are at the machine and we are ready to cut this 2-layer and write. So I'm going to load this in. Whoops, it's not quite ready. Let's move along. We're connecting to our joy. Notice this is a pen and cut. And it's medium cardstock, which is what I generally use. And it tells me to load it, but it wants me to load my pen. So this is the detail layer, and I said I was going to use a fine point with this one, right? These are my favorite pens. They're not Cricut, and I'll put the link for you. They're from Amazon. They are XINART, Zinart. All right, so this one I want the fine point. Remember I was explaining in the previous video that there are two kinds. That is the thicker point, and this is the fine point. So we are going to go with the fine point for this detailed layer, and then we're going to go with a thicker one for the next one. On the Joy, there's only one holder, so I'm going to take this out. This is my blade, and there's a little magnet that lets it hold right there so you don't lose it. You pop that in, close it up. Notice these pens are a little shorter than a standard Cricut pen. A standard Cricut pen, hold on, let me show you, is different here. This distance and this are different. This is fatter, this is skinnier and longer, and it's not going to work. So you can't use the pens that you use with your Maker or your Explore here in the Joy. Okay, I want to tell Cricut to remember these materials because I'm going to do the second one the same way, and go ahead. And I want you to watch this, so I'm going to take off what is going to happen over here in Design Space and just let you watch the Cricut. It's so fascinating. So let's get this away. Whoops. Notice how it's drawing all those details. So it kind of takes a minute, and I generally speed this up, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit while it did it. So Cricut's going to draw this. There are some other options, but see that tiny, tiny detail? There's no way paper could do that. There just isn't. There is a trick, and we'll talk about this in our membership probably next month, where you can use vinyl or heat transfer vinyl to do these teeny tiny tedious things. But I'm telling you, even vinyl is not going to like something this tiny. So in order to get the detail, it really works well to let Cricut do the writing. Here's one I did earlier so that you can see how tiny it is, right? So we're going to let Cricut do this one. It's going to go ahead and write. When it finishes, it will prompt me to change the pen, take the pen out, and put the blade back in, and then it will go ahead and cut that layer out. It does take a minute, but it's kind of like watching like a, oh, what is that thing where the sand, hourglass, where sand goes through the hour. It's just kind of relaxing to watch this go. We're at 37%. I've had someone ask, can Cricut write something other than what it's drawing? It can write an address. It could write your journaling. It could write details on a note card. I've used it to address wedding invitations. Again, a little tedious, but Cricut can do it. You can pick the font that you like. There is a difference when you're choosing a font particularly. There are writing fonts that Cricut has provided, and I highly recommend that you use those at first. What's going to happen when you try and write with a standard cutting font like what's loaded on your computer is you're going to get the two lines. You're going to see that in the next one. Cricut doesn't fill it in. It just, where it would normally cut, it draws. Because this is so detailed and so tiny, it looks like it's filling in, but it's really filling in the shapes. It would, truthfully, if you try and cut this, you will hate me forever because it's not going to cut. It's just going to mangle a mess on your computer. Almost done. Almost ready to switch and put the blade back. You've heard me talk about using the light blue mat, and you notice that here in this situation I'm using a green mat. I find the joy goes through mats quicker because we're always putting our paper down in the same spot. On a bigger mat you can kind of move things around a little bit. So I use the green mat sometimes when my blue mat's not sticky anymore. I happen to buy these in an assortment. These are not Cricut mats. These are another funny imported company. I'll put the link for those too. They work great. They work fine. Cricut mats are awesome as well. I don't have a problem with them. I tend to use what I can get. I only have a Walmart near me. So most of the time I order my stuff and I use Amazon and Walmart all the time. So whoever can get it to me faster, depending on what my project is. All right, Mr. Cricut, you're almost done. I've had people ask me, is this faster if you use the maker? No. I find, honestly, working with the Joy on something small like this is a little bit quicker because the way it loads the mat super fast. It doesn't have to look at the whole mat. I love using the Joy for these kind of projects. If it fits on the Joy mat, that's what I use. Okay, Cricut changed. It says time for the next step. Let me bring you back so that you can see that. See where it says time for the next step? It says load point, fine point blade and clamp. It's the only blade I have. Open this up. I'm going to pop the blade in and I'm going to tell Cricut go. So it's going to go ahead and cut. And we're going to let it do its work. And I will come back and show you the finished project. Bye.